Honorable Member Secretary Ma'am, officers, staff of NCT, and the representative of TIs and the other stakeholders of education who are connected with us. Today, we all have gathered here to celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is an initiative of the Government of India to celebrate 75 years of independence and its glorious history of its people, culture, and achievements. To ensure that, NCT has organized a webinar on the effect of climate change on the availability of drinking water and its remedies. Under the theme water, and the speaker of the day is Shri Abhimanyu Yadav sir, I would like to extend to you a warm welcome. So let us start this day by lighting the lamp. I would like to invite our Honorable Member Secretary Ma'am, Speaker of the Day, and the officials to initiate this ceremony. Thank you.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापम् सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः दीपं ब्रह्मरूपस्थं ज्योतिषां प्रभुराव्ययः दीपं
Now, moving ahead, I would like to request Shri Madan Singh Yadav sir, HOD and Regional Director, NCTE, to felicitate the Speaker of the Day. Thank you, sir. Today we have with us Shri Abhimanyu Yadav, sir, convener of National Mission for Mentoring, who started his career journey as a higher secondary teacher for social sciences with the UP government. Subsequently, he worked as the in-charge principal of the government high school in Pratapgarh, UP. And he has specialization in physical geography and has completed his master's from Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. Thereafter, he joined the National Council for Teacher Education as a section officer, handling the national level project National Mission for Mentoring, and giving his valuable inputs by developing the Blue Book for Mentoring, devising our pilot project, and its implementation plan. Moreover, he is co-convener of the ITIP Committee for School Experience and Community Engagement and co-convener of the NPST as well. Furthermore, while working in NCTE, Furthermore, while working in NCTE, he has worked in the following capacities such as Nodal Officer for e-Samiksha, Nodal Officer for Ease of Doing Business, Nodal Officer for NEP 2020, Nodal Officer for CP Grams, Social Media in charge of NCTE, and last but not the least, Public Information Officer, NRC. Now I would like to request our Honorable Member Secretary Ma'am to address the gathering with her insightful words.
Thank you, Bhavna. My colleagues in NCTE and everybody who has joined us online, a very good morning and namaskar. I welcome all of you to this webinar today on the effect of climate change on the availability of drinking water and its remedies. The speaker of today is a very young and dynamic officer, Shri Abhimanyu Yadav. He's already been introduced, and he will be speaking on this very important topic, which is part of our Akam celebrations. And I would not like to, and since it's such an important issue which concerns each of us, our country, our children, our lives, our future. So without much delay, I would request Mr. Yadav to please start the presentation. Thank you.
Hope the mic is working. Is it working? Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, SRC, for conducting uh, a talk on such an important issue which we face uh, in our daily life. So, without taking much time, we will directly go to our topic, which is effect of climate change on availability of drinking water and its remedies. So, as you can clearly see, this topic has four segments. First is climate change, second is drinking water, third is effect of climate change on drinking water, and the fourth is how we can mitigate the adverse impact of climate change on drinking water and make more and more surface water suitable for us for drinking. So, next slide, please. So, this is what I was talking about. We have four segments in this. First is climate change, second is drinking water, third is adverse effects of climate change on drinking water, and then it is what are the ways in which we will be mitigating the adverse effects of climate change on our drinking water. So, our first we have to understand what is climate change. So, what is changing? Is it what is changing? So, so this is a standard definition of climate change. Means whatever long-term shift in temperature and weather patterns of a place, if the temperature and weather pattern of a place, it is not uh, uh, means for a long time, if the temperature and weather patterns of a place are changing for a very long period, then that is climate change. If it is changing for a very short period, that is called weather, it's weather change. So this can be like, now this is climate change. So what are the factors that have been working behind the occurrence of this climate change? And they may be human factors, they may be man-made factors, they may be natural factors. So there are various factors. So primarily, climate change is a prehistoric phenomena. Earth has always witnessing this thing, but this has been speeden up, or it has been uh, very fast in the recent years and in a different trend than natural. So it was like you can see here, the it can be because of solar activities. Recently, it was in news. Many of us would have heard, because of the solar activities, we have uh, changes in our climatic conditions. These are like volcanic eruptions also change or have an impact on our climate. But recently, we are talking about the climate change which is happening post 1800. So then, and means post-industrial revolution, what are, or what the path of development which we chose, that we have to see whether it was, means how was it, what was the balance of, or what was the cost of development what we have paid for. So this is like human activities and like burning of fossil fuels, generation of greenhouse gases, and they act like this. In the next slide, we will be very clearly seeing how our development has led to the uh, changes in the climatic conditions on this earth. So these are, the greenhouse gases are mainly responsible for it, and this we will be seeing in the next slide, please.
Human activities, from pollution to overpopulation, are driving up the Earth's temperature and fundamentally changing the world around us. The main cause is a phenomenon known as the greenhouse effect. Gases in the atmosphere, such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons, let the sun's light in, but keep some of the heat from escaping, like the glass walls of a greenhouse. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the more heat gets trapped, strengthening the greenhouse effect and increasing the Earth's temperature. Human activities, like the burning of fossil fuels, have increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere by more than a third since the Industrial Revolution. The rapid increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has warmed the planet at an alarming rate. While Earth's climate has fluctuated in the past, atmospheric carbon dioxide hasn't reached today's levels in hundreds of thousands of years. Climate change has consequences for our oceans, our weather, our food sources, and our health. Ice sheets, such as Greenland and Antarctica, are melting. The extra water that was once held in glaciers causes sea levels to rise and spills out of the oceans, flooding coastal regions. Warmer temperatures also make weather more extreme. This means not only more intense major storms, floods, and heavy snowfall, but also longer and more frequent droughts. These changes in weather pose challenges. Growing crops becomes more difficult. The areas where plants and animals can live shift, and water supplies are diminished. In addition to creating new agricultural challenges, climate change can directly affect people's physical health. In urban areas, the warmer atmosphere creates an environment that traps and increases the amount of smog. This is because smog contains ozone particles, which increase rapidly at higher temperatures. Exposure to higher levels of smog can cause health problems such as asthma, heart disease, and lung cancer. While the rapid rate of climate change is caused by humans, humans are also the ones who can combat it. If we work to replace fossil fuels with renewable energy sources like solar and wind, which don't produce greenhouse gas emissions, we might still be able to prevent some of the worst effects of climate change.
So we saw how climate change is like how we are responsible for the recent climate change which we are witnessing. So now we have seen how is climate change happening, and now we will see what are the adverse effects what climate change is uh, uh, causing on the environment which we live in. So we can clearly see the global temperature rose about 1 degree Celsius in last 1 century. So this is really very alarming. And because of rise of the temperature, global temperature, there will be many factors which will be affected by it. Sea level has means risen. It was about 1.7 mm per year means uh, long ago. Now it's more than means 3 per year. So glaciers are shrinking, which we saw on the video also, and we have witnessed many a times in televisions or everywhere. Means like glaciers are melting. Means they are the one of the largest sources of fresh water on Earth, which has been uh, which is present on our mountains in the form of glaciers. So these are melting, and when once these melt, we will be out of fresh water. So the amount of carbon dioxide which was present in atmosphere has drastically risen. It will also have very severe consequences on our daily life. So rising temperatures will definitely create heat strokes, and climate change may aggravate erosion, decline in organic matter, salinization, soil biodiversity, and landslides, desertification, flooding, etc. These are the consequences of all the factors what we have seen above. So this was the impact of climate change. Now we will see what is the impact of and how this is directly related to drinking water or water in general and drinking water in specific. So because of this climate change, we are witnessing drought conditions throughout the world. Means in many parts there will be excessive flooding, or in some parts we will witness drought conditions. So reduction in uh, availability of drinking water supplies, reduced flow of rivers, less or dilution, yeah, increased concentration, because if the amount of fresh water in the river is declining, the amount of pollutants in the water will be means relatively on an increase. So these are the means because of drought. So flooding we will see. Flooding we have witnessed means like Mumbai floods or many cities where flooding is a condition where the general slope of the area is not able to drain all of the water which has been uh, drained into the system by some factors. So that condition is called flooding. And because of the excessive rain and all, we have means excessive rain at places where it was not used to be. So we have witnessed flooding, this pollutants of wells, inundation of wells, inaccessibility of water sources. So though flooding is means one of means flooding is like excess of water, but the most important problem in flooding is availability of fresh water. So flooding of the urinals, infrastructures, landslide around the sources, sedimentation, turbidity, and means like we said, hygienic behavior and waterborne diseases are also occurred due to flooding. So we will witness heat waves, and these heat waves have also increased on water because of the heat. The pathogens or the pathogens in water will drastically increase, which will lead to many of diseases and all. So increase in temperature will result in melting of glaciers, snow, sea ice, and frozen grounds. And this will drastically affect on the seasonality of rivers. So yeah, especially in Indian conditions, the rivers in North India are perennial rivers which are fed by melting water from glaciers. So if uh, our glaciers are melting and they don't have adequate amount of water, the flow or the water discharge in rivers will be greatly hampered. Next slide, please. So this is like what means, what is the crisis, or what is the situation because of the water we will be facing in India, and that is country's water crisis has a significant economic cost. India's depleting groundwater drinking water, because the fluoride or arsenic content in our waters has drastically increased. You will be reading in newspapers and all, because of the depletion or because of the going down of our water level, or because of having less water in our aquifers. This problem has risen. 60% of India's districts have been declared critical on groundwater. This is because of increase of pollutants, or because of the increase of salts in our groundwater. We will be facing everyone in our bathrooms. Whenever you go, you'll see the white lining around the buckets. They are salts, and especially they may vary. Means maybe if someone is not from Delhi and if someone is going outside, especially in an area where water is cleaner, you will not find those white linings. So they are salts and excess amount of salt that has been dissolved in our groundwater. India draws nearly 25% of world's groundwater. So see, we are drawing very much excessive amount of groundwater. India takes out from the ground. India uh, withdraws, and this is also the like we have, these are the areas where we have to work upon, because this is the availability of drinking water. We are uh, depleting very fast because of our faulty techniques of irrigation, and in this uh, drawing of the groundwater, the water mainly goes for irrigation purposes, and we have like flooding techniques of irrigation. They are the one of the worst techniques of irrigation throughout the world. So this we have to look into and come out as fast as we can. Nearly 80% of India's fresh water is used in agriculture. Over half of India's cultivated land is under water intensive crops. India uses at least twice the amount of water to grow 1 unit of food versus comparable countries. India's farmers rely mainly on tube wells to extract groundwater for their crops. So this is one of the biggest problem what we are facing these days, and also these are the major ones, including minor ones. We ourselves have to study, because this is the climate change. Is like we have seen in the previous slides. Well, it is because of natural reasons. It is because of our lifestyle reasons. So everyone have to analyze this. This is not a lecture session as such, because this is just a, a to feel how we ourselves are impacting or becoming one of the factors which is increasing this problem, which or aggravating this problem. So these are the problems, or if it persists, if this problem persists, it will drastically have effect on the economic growth of the country. Power supply, we all know. Agricultural crisis we might face, drinking water scarcity, and conflicts over water, which has been increased. So I would like to show you one video. Since I'm from Uttar Pradesh, I'll like to show you one small video of Uttar Pradesh. In this, the what we are discussing has been very beautifully addressed. So kindly see it, then we will carry forward.
ये कहानी अकेले वंदना के गांव की नहीं है। ये कहानी है उत्तर प्रदेश के एक ऐसे हर एक गांव की जिनसे पानी ने मुंह मोड़ना शुरू कर दिया है। जल ही जीवन है और बगैर पानी सब सून। ये लोकोक्तियां महज किताबों की पंक्तियां नहीं रह गईं। पानी के अभाव ने जीवन को चुनौती देना शुरू कर दिया है।
चौका के लिए पानी नहीं है, पानी पीने के लिए पानी नहीं है, खारा पानी है पूरे गांव में। वो सब्जी बनाते हैं, दाल वगैरह बनाते हैं, पानी नहीं है उसके लिए। बहुत दूर दूर से पानी ले आते हैं।
पानी है ही नहीं है सर, पानी नहीं गिर रहा है, बारिश नहीं हो रही तो पानी कहाँ से कुओं में आएगा? और कहाँ से हम बोरिंग करा लो तो बोरिंग में भी पानी नहीं आएगा। जब धरती में पानी ही नहीं है तो पानी कहाँ से आएगा?
क्योंकि वाटर लेवल दिनों दिन नीचे चला जा रहा है। हमारे यहाँ के लगभग लगभग 60% हैंडपंप सूख चुके हैं, उनमें पानी नहीं है।
खेती में पानी नहीं हो रहा है, 2 साल 3 साल से पानी की परेशानी है। बच्चों को लिए के आसो तो हम अपने बाहर निकल जाती हैं, क्या करेंगे?
जब बरसात ही नहीं होगी तो कुआं कहाँ से भरेगा? जब सब लोग पेड़ ही काटते थे तो बरसात कहाँ से होगी?
उत्तर प्रदेश के अन्य भूभाग की तरह बुंदेलखंड भी हमेशा ऐसी स्थिति में नहीं था। 1971 में जब पूरा राष्ट्र सूखे के कारण अभाव और भूखमरी से जूझ रहा था, उस वक्त तक बुंदेलखंड अपने आप में परिपूर्ण था। कारण थे बुंदेलखंड के 9,000 तालाब और सैकड़ों कुएं और बावड़ियां, जिन्हें बुंदेलखंड के जाने माने राजाओं द्वारा जन भागीदारी से बनाया गया था। जल स्रोतों के अतिक्रमण और जल के अंधाधुंध दोहन के कारण ये अब अपने आसपास के सूखे और जल त्रासदी के मूक दर्शक बन बैठे हैं। इन जल स्रोतों ने कई 100 सालों तक अपने लोगों की देखरेख की, और वर्तमान में ऐसी आपदा का कारण क्या हो सकता है?
वातावरण में हर चीज में बदलाव बहुत ज्यादा हो चुका है। और हमारे गांव के अंतर्गत में जैसे कि तालाब है, इतने तालाब 8-9 तालाब थे, वो सब साफ सुथरे थे, जिससे पानी का रिचार्ज होता था, पानी रुकता था, पानी अधिक मात्रा में रहता था और बारिश भी उसी हिसाब से होती थी। अब बारिश भी कम होती है और यहाँ का पेड़ पौधे भी कम हो गए। पहले की अपेक्षा यहाँ अब तालाबों में इतनी गंदगी हो गई है कि गोंद भी नहीं निकाली जा सकती है। गोंद ज़्यादा होने के कारण से पानी का अभाव हो गया और पानी कम होता जा रहा है। पहले तो सन 1971-72 में इतना पानी था कि हमारे बुंदेलखंड में पानी की कभी कमी नहीं होती थी।
और सिर्फ तालाब ही क्यों, आधुनिकीकरण के चलते कुएं और बावड़ियां भी खत्म हो चुके हैं।
यहाँ कुआं से पानी भरा जाता था पहले भी। इसके बाद यहाँ हैंडपंप लगे हैं, जब से पानी हैंडपंप से लिया जा रहा है। पहले तो कुआं में पानी था, अब हैंडपंप की सेवा चल रही भैया, तो हमने दवाई भी डालना बंद कर दिया, कोई पानी लेता ही नहीं उससे, तो बेकार है। अब आज के पानी है या नहीं, मुझे
लोगों ने पानी व्यर्थ बहाने के दुष्प्रभाव के बारे में नहीं सोचा। गलती इंसानों की थी। चाहे मीठे पानी को खारे पानी में बहने देने की बात आए, भूजल के अत्यधिक उपयोग की बात आए, या बात पहाड़ों को काटने की, पर्यावरण के संग दुर्व्यवहार हुआ है और इसे कोई झुठला नहीं सकता। और इस दुर्व्यवहार की जननी थी प्राकृतिक संसाधनों के अनियंत्रित दोहन की प्रवृत्ति। विकासशील गतिविधियां गलत नहीं थीं, गलत था विकसित प्रणालियों का अत्यधिक प्रयोग। रासायनिक खाद और बोरवेल के पानी ने लोगों की दृष्टि को ऐसा धुंधला कर दिया कि लोगों की नजर जैविक खाद और तालाब के पानी के संचयन पर गई ही नहीं। अब समय ऐसा है कि बुंदेलखंड के उन 9,000 में से केवल 2,000 तालाब बचे हैं। उन 2,000 तालाबों में कई अब उपयोगी नहीं हैं और धरातल का पानी भी सूखने लगा है।
मेरे यहाँ 500 बीघे से ज्यादा का बड़ा तालाब है, और अक्सर यहाँ जब पानी डंप हो जाता है तो बड़े पैमाने पर इसकी व्यवस्था लोग आसपास के गांव की चलती, कम से कम 4 से 5 गांव सभा इससे जुड़े हुए हैं, और सारी गांव सभाओं की आवश्यकता इससे पूरी होती है, सिंचाई से लेकर सारी चीजें। तालाब के अंदर तरह तरह किस्म की पक्षियां पाई जाती हैं, सैकड़ों नस्ल की पक्षियां पाई जाती हैं, और दुनिया भर के जीव जंतु वहां जीते हैं। लेकिन आज ऐसी समस्या आ गई है कि तालाब में मान लिया अभी तो सूख गया है तालाब, 35 वर्ष बाद ये तालाब सूखा है, 35 साल बीतने के बाद आज सूख गया तालाब। आज इसमें से हजारों से ज्यादा तो कछुए मर गए।
कमोबेश ऐसी स्थिति राज्य के अन्य भूभाग जैसे विंध्याचल में भी है, जहां ग्रामीण आवाम दिन प्रतिदिन जल के अभाव को महसूस कर रही है।
आपने देखा कैसे जो है एक जो हमारा जो हम क्लाइमेट चेंज की बात कर रहे हैं उसका इम्पैक्ट लोएस्ट लेवल पे बिल्कुल ग्रास रूट लेवल पे एक गांव पे कैसा इम्पैक्ट होता है, और वो इम्पैक्ट हम कम विटनेस करते हैं क्योंकि हमारे पास रिसोर्सेज ज्यादा अवेलेबल हैं, और हम उन कमियों को दूसरे तरीकों से हम दूर करने का कोशिश करते हैं और इस पे हमारा ध्यान नहीं जाता है। हमें उन सारी जगहों के बारे में सोचना चाहिए जहाँ पे रिसोर्सेज की अवेलेबिलिटी या अगर किसी कारण से कोई कमी होती है तो वहां पे उस कमी को दूर करने के लिए जो सप्लीमेंट्री या मतलब चीजें हैं वो अवेलेबल नहीं है। तो आपने एक बहुत अच्छे तरीके से देख, और मैं चाहूंगा कि अगर अगर हम में से कुछ लोग जो ऐसी चीजें विटनेस किए हों, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग यहाँ पे जो हमारे बीच में अवेलेबल हैं, मौजूद हैं, वो अ, ग्रामीण क्षेत्र से या देश के दूर दराज क्षेत्रों से आते हैं। अगर अगर किसी का खुद का कुछ लिव्ड एक्सपीरियंस हो इस इश्यू पे, तो वो जरूर शेयर करें। अभी इसके पहले मेंबर सेक्रेटरी मैम से बात हो रही थी इस टॉपिक पे, तो उन्होंने कहा उनके यहाँ भी सेम सिमिलर टाइप की कुछ उन्होंने फेस किया जब जब वो इनिशियल अपने स्टूडेंट लाइफ में थी और उसके बाद से। तो मैं चाहूंगा मैम कि आप अपने लिव्ड एक्सपीरियंस को इस इश्यू पे जरूर शेयर करें। Yes, ma'am. Yes. Ma'am, if you want, you can come here also or whatever.
Thank you, Abhimanyu. I mean, like looking at the what has been spoken and the various videos that he has shown, it takes me back to my own hometown, my own hills that I come from. And this is one problem which is such a severe problem for from where I come. And can you make it full screen? So I would just want you to look at this beautiful picture. You must have seen this in many places, and or you would have seen it in movies, etc. So this is my beautiful town of Darjeeling. And you can see it's such a picturesque town with the Kanchenjunga in the background and greenery everywhere, and it's a beautiful town. I also take, when you say Darjeeling, this is what you think of. Next slide, please. You must have gone there, you must have visited the green tea gardens as you go through when you want to go towards Darjeeling, you go through these beautiful tea gardens. And Darjeeling is known for its tea. It is known as the champagne of all teas. So it is known for its tea. I mean, okay. Then next is, when you look at this also, this is the famous toy train of Darjeeling. You would have seen it in movies, Anuradha, what is that movie called? Where Rajesh Khanna, Aradhana movie, yes. That song is, picturized on this. So this is a very famous thing that you see. Now, this is one facet of Darjeeling, which is so beautiful, so picturesque, and, it's a major tourist station. Now I'm bringing you another. Now, this is, again, you will see this also in movies you would have seen. People taking water, this is, but let me tell you that this is one of the biggest problems that the beautiful Darjeeling Hills face, which is water scarcity. There is a major problem of water scarcity in Darjeeling, and since Abhimanyu has asked that we can share our experiences, and I come from a water place where there is major water scarcity, so I want to share my experiences. This is one of the situations that we face in Darjeeling on a daily basis. I have faced it since I was a small child, and this situation continues even today. So Darjeeling is a town where we have about 1.6 to 1.7 lakh population. We have, Darjeeling town is mainly fed by potable water from two reservoirs. This is called the Central Lake. It is there in the Central Reserve Forest. If you have gone to Darjeeling, probably some of you may have visited this lake here. This lake was built in the pre-British era. There are two twin lakes, and at that point of time, it had to cater to about 15,000 population. Now today, the population is 1.6 to 1.7 lakhs. And these are the two lakes from which we get our potable drinking water. So you can imagine the amount of deficit that we face from what the water supply is. So what happens is in Darjeeling, when we have, there are public taps. This is one such public tap that you can see where we get our water. And of course, water is there comes to our homes also. And I was just discussing with my with my mother today, कि आपको, when was the last time, means how frequently do you get water at home? And this is a story which I have also faced, right? So she says we get once in 10 days. So I asked her, how many once in 10 days or once in a week? So I was asking, कितने घंटे के लिए मिलता है? So she said about 1 hour we will get. वो भी, the force is not very. So this is the situation I have seen from my childhood. And today also when I was asking her, I was pretty surprised to see that the situation has not changed. So we have this type of water tap. And if you go to the hills, Darjeeling, you may see, some of you may see these type of sites. This is another public tap that you will find in the town area. And look at the amount of, the containers which are there. We call it in our local language jerry cans. And so this is a type of thing. And it will be of 10 liters, 5, 10 liters. And people fill this. They bring their buckets. They bring their own indigenous containers. And we fill this. And then it is taken back. Water here will come maybe once a week or something like that. So this is the situation that in Darjeeling we face. How do we get the supply? Now, how do we manage the supply? Because there's such a scarcity. So we have a lot of natural springs and a lot of natural springs around the area. So there is a huge business of, water supply to the town by use of these type of, these go to the natural springs and these get filled and then they come back to the town area. And then this water is supplied to the homes, to the hotels. I mean, it's not free. We have to buy it. We call it, in our side, we are calling it canter, or, this is the way they go. And see, from the natural springs, they will go and they will fill these type. Some will be filling in those taps. Some will be filling in these type of these water tanks which are there. And this filled water is brought back to the town. And we ourselves, when the water is not there, we purchase water on maybe once a month or twice a month so that we can manage our household affairs. So this is the way, the scarcity of water that is there. Now this water comes back to town and then people are taking from this town or buying it or whatever. Like, this is the way the water is largely supplied in Darjeeling, wherever there is a severe scarcity, especially in the tourist season, because it's in the tourist season, Darjeeling is so crowded. Added to the water scarcity, it becomes a huge problem for the locals there and for the tourists to come. So you can see these pipes which will be running around. Next time you go to Darjeeling, maybe, I don't know about other hill stations, I can only talk about my own. You just have to notice. And these type of wires I have seen in Delhi, but I have seen it in the air में, electric wires running like this. ये मैं पानी का wire दिखा रही हूँ. Some of them are they are coming from the springs itself. They have some source by which they connect. These are some of the connections of waters which are running. And like he pointed out, because if there's any landslide or anything, if this gets broken, the water supply is totally cut off to the town. So again, we are having a problem. You will also see this type of visuals when you are going to Darjeeling or this. Again, this is our water there. And these are, he's carrying water. This is all cans of water where people cannot afford to buy a full tank. They will ask these people, like, maybe, I don't know how much they charge for each of these dibbas. So this contains water and he's actually ferrying water from to supply to people. Now, what happens is we have a lot of natural springs there, very few. This is one such thing. This is a natural source of water. So I remember when I was a small kid, I used to go, we didn't have water. If you want to take bath, means then I have to fill the water. So it was our children's duty, 5 liter karke. And, not a pakka sarak also. It will be somewhere down in the coach mein hoga. So we are going and filling water. And the day we fill the water is the day I can take bath. If no water fill means I can't take bath because there's no water. And if you want to wash clothes also, because no water comes in the tap. So I remember for us, it used to be a big picnic at that time as kids. We take one bundle, ek hafta mein, pura khana wana le jaake, or we wash the clothes there, have our food, everything, big picnic, and then we come back. So this is a natural spring which you would see in and around Darjeeling, wherever it is there, in villages, interior areas. You will also notice, last time also in one setting I had said, along the way as you go in the hills, you will see these bamboo things which are running along the side. Next time, please do notice this. This is again a tapping of a natural. This is a tapping of a natural water. Now, how do we tap the natural resource since there is such a scarcity? So what do? Ek is we go to the springs and do our cleaning, filling of water there. Second is from the natural springs, we tap the water like this. From the source, we have these bamboo or those pipes going along, which will connect it finally to one destination. then look like it will be connecting करके finally एक source रास्ते के नजदीक में या गांव के वहां पे एक ऐसा निकलेगा और हम लोग पानी इस तरीके से भरते हैं. This is a way of remedy. How do you remedy this system, this situation of water scarcity? So this is one way how we have tried to harness the water which is somewhere lying somewhere else and bring it to our place. So this is one way in which we do. See, now this is also not a public tap. This has also been harnessed from some spring. Probably this must be a village and the person, we fill the water like that. It comes and this is the water which is being filled. What we do is, like I said, the natural springs are there. So pani to ghar mein nahi aata hai kapde dhone ke liye. So the question of washing machines like here very comfortably doesn't happen. So we go to the springs again many times and then we wash our clothes there. And then we have these springs which are there. This is also not a public tap. This is a natural spring where they have created a sort of a reservoir, means a sort of a harvesting thing where people come and fill. So this is the problem. So see, Darjeeling, it's so acute. It is not because that there is no rainfall in Darjeeling. Though I did see a newspaper report somewhere around Jan-Feb, I'm not very sure, which said that among the driest places which receive no rain in the winter, Darjeeling was on top. There was a report. But however, we are not a rain deficit area. Because of deforestation, like he was pointing out, felling of trees, etc., our temperature also has risen, and also we have a huge water scarcity is going on. But rain is there. It is not a deficit area, but we have not been able to harness it properly by how to harness this natural streams, natural water from the natural streams, natural springs, and the rivers and the rivulets which are nearby. This is our problem, that we have not been able to harness it. And also we have like in my house, my parents have this harvesting system, rainwater harvesting system, where jab barish hota hai to where there is a collecting point, we connect all those things, and jitna bhi barish hota hai wo hum log store kar lete hain ek bada sa tank mein, aur wahi pani use hota hai jaisa kapde dhone ke liye. Yes, so Darjeeling mein hum koi bhi pani waste nahi karte hain. Mujhe bahut bura lagta hai jab yahan pe pani कोई हम लोग इतना आसानी से कुछ भी पानी फेंक देते हैं. मुझे क्योंकि छोटे से मैंने देखी हूँ, बिकॉज मैं हॉस्टल में थी छोटी सी. सो इवन टू ब्रश फॉर द होल डे means when we will get half a mug of water. Now with that half a mug of water, I'm supposed to wash my face, brush my teeth and everything. So this is the scarcity I've seen. Every drop counts. I think most of us have not faced this problem of filling water, bringing water, and the scarcity that we face. That is why we are not able to appreciate this problem. So please remember, this is an imminent problem that is there. And if we are not able to control, if we are not able to remedy the situation, if we ourselves proactively don't take steps, there will be a time when there will be no water for us. There will be a time when there will be no water for our children. So our future is in our hands. I request everybody to please save water, because every drop counts. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for explaining the whole thing in such a beautiful way. So I would request if someone else want to share their experiences. For I mean, if especially if someone from Rajasthan, because that is one of the areas where we have least rainfall. So please, Chetan. Yeah.
Thank you, Abhimanyu ji, for the opportunity to express the situation of Rajasthan in terms of scarcity of drinking water. And I was quite surprised about the situation of lush green landscape gardens at Darjeeling, but I was totally unaware, because I am from Rajasthan, so I can feel the scarcity. राजस्थान, सबने ऊंट तो देखा होगा, आप जानते भी होंगे, एक 40 दिन में एक बार पानी पीता है, तो हम सबको वैसा ही लगता है, क्योंकि राजस्थान से है, स्केर्सिटी इतना ज़्यादा है. जब मैं छोटा था तो हम लोग अपने एरिया में, हमारे आस पड़ोस के लोगों ने बोरिंग करवा रखे थे, क्योंकि ड्रिंकिंग वाटर 15 दिन 20 दिन में एक बार आता था. उस टाइम जो ग्राउंड वाटर लेवल था, आज से अराउंड 35 ईयर्स बैक, वो अराउंड 200 स्क्वायर फीट डीप था. बट आज मैंने पूछा एक से, बोरिंग वाले से, कि मेरे घर में बोरिंग करवाना है, तो उसने बताया कि सर कराना बेकार है, क्योंकि इट वेंट डीप अप टू 600 फीट in 35 years. So urbanization and these things are very drastic for the scarcity of water. So अभी जो है हमें जो सॉल्यूशन है उसकी तरफ ज्यादा सोचना चाहिए। जैसे हम राजस्थान से हैं तो इतना ज्यादा डीप वाटर जा चुका है कि मतलब एक एक बूंद जो है पानी के लिए हम तरसते हैं। जैसे सऊदी अरब है, अरेबियन कंट्रीज, दुबई एंड ऑल दैट, उन लोगों ने जो प्रॉब्लम डिस्कस करने से ज्यादा सॉल्यूशन पर ध्यान दिया एंड दे आर वेंट अहेड टू कोप अप विद दिस सिचुएशन। सो हमें ऐसे तरीके अपनाने चाहिए जो सक्सेसफुल रहे हैं वर्ल्ड में। तो इंडिया में, और जब चौहान साहब यहाँ थे तो मैंने एक इसके बारे में एक सजेशन दिया था उनको, और उन्होंने शायद चेयरमैन से डिस्कस भी किया था, बट ये इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हो पाया, वो रेगुलेशन के अंडर सेक्रेटरी थे। तो स्टिल मैं आज मेंबर सेक्रेटरी मैडम से भी रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि वो प्लान जो है अगर सक्सेसफुल हो जाए तो मिनिस्ट्री भी हमें अप्रिशिएट करेगी, और ये अर्थ के लिए हमारा कंट्रीब्यूशन बहुत ज़्यादा रहेगा कि जितने भी टीआईज हैं एक छोटा सा अमेंडमेंट रेगुलेशन में करके रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग मैंडेटरी कर दी जाए हर टीआई के लिए। एक छोटी सी चीज़ है बट ये बहुत बड़ा स्टेप होगा। ये मैंने करने के लिए रिक्वेस्ट भी किया था पहले भी और आज भी करूँगा। ठीक है, अगर अथॉरिटीज चाहें तो ये हो सकता है। ठीक है, और राजस्थान में तो सब आप जानते ही हैं, राजस्थान है तो पूरा का पूरा टोटली डेजर्ट एरिया है। वहाँ पर आपको माइल्स तक कोई पेड़ नहीं मिलेगा, केवल एक खेजड़ी का पेड़ है जो एक बूंद पानी में भी हरा रहता है। इसके अलावा कोई पेड़ नहीं मिलता डेजर्ट एरिया में। एडजॉइनिंग स्टेट है यूपी, हरियाणा, पंजाब, ये 3 एडजॉइनिंग स्टेट है, एमपी भी है। तो आप सब जानते हैं कि इस सिचुएशन का कितना बड़ा इम्पैक्ट क्रॉप्स पर है। ये जो हमारे एडजॉइनिंग स्टेट है राजस्थान के, ये पर ईयर 3 क्रॉप्स ले लेते हैं, ठीक है, हार्वेस्ट करके। अब जो राजस्थान है साल में केवल 1 क्रॉप ले पाता है, वो भी इधर उधर से पानी वानी का जुगाड़ करके, गवर्नमेंट कहीं मेहरबानी कर दे किसानों के लिए तो, अदरवाइज कोई स्कोप नहीं है। मैं प्रैक्टिकली बता रहा हूँ, हमारे जब एनआरसी जयपुर में हुआ करता था शिफ्टिंग से पहले, तो वहां पर एक लड़का था राजेंद्र, है ना, राजेंद्र नाम से। तो उस राजेंद्र का के फादर और उनके एंसेस्टर्स का वहाँ जयपुर के आउटस्कर्ट्स में हेक्टेयर्स में लैंड है, हेक्टेयर्स में। बट वो इस सिचुएशन में भी कि उसके पास इतना बड़ा एरिया है कि एक सिटी बस जाए, तो भी वो डीओ की सर्विस कर रहा था। क्यों? क्योंकि उसको पानी नहीं मिल रहा वहां पर हार्वेस्ट करने के लिए। साल में 1 क्रॉप बड़ी मुश्किल से होती है, अगर वो भी वेदर कंडीशंस एडवर्स हो गई तो वो भी गई। तो ये प्रैक्टिकली मैं बता रहा हूँ कि हमारे जो लोग हैं उनके पास में लैंड की कोई कमी नहीं है, बट फिर भी वो लोग सर्वाइव अपने ब्रेड एंड बटर और लाइफ सर्वाइवल के लिए डिपेंडेंसी है कि 10-20 हज़ार की नौकरी कहीं से कर रहे हैं। ये हम इस सिचुएशन तक आ गए हैं कि आगे चल के इसका सॉल्यूशन अगर नहीं सोचा गया तो बहुत बड़ा नुकसान होगा। और इसका जो सॉल्यूशन है हम अगर कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं तो मैंने सजेशन दे दिया है, अगर अथॉरिटीज चाहे तो। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू सो मच। और अच्छा सजेशन है आपका। और मैं इस आप हमारा जो खुद का बिल्डिंग है एटलीस्ट उसमें तो वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग फैसिलिटी हमारे पास है छत पे। और इनफैक्ट ज़्यादातर अभी इनफैक्ट मेट्रोपॉलिटन सिटीज़ और जो जेएनयूआरएम की सिटीज़ हैं, आई थिंक उसमें गवर्नमेंट स्ट्रक्चर्स पे गवर्नमेंट ने कर रखा है बिल्डिंग प्लान अप्रूव करते समय। तो और वो भी, और हमें भी लेना चाहिए, दैट इज़ अ गुड थिंग। और आपने राजस्थान की ग्रेव इश्यूज बताए, और मैम के और इनकी बात से जरूर ये हमें पता चला होगा, दिस इज नॉट जस्ट जो हम क्लाइमेट चेंज का इम्पैक्ट ड्रिंकिंग वाटर पे पड़ रहा है, केवल वैसा नहीं है, दिस इज डायरेक्टली अफेक्टिंग आवर लाइफ, दिस इज डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड टू आवर लाइफ। तो मैं नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज, अब आगे बढ़ते हैं इस दूस फुल स्क्रीन कर दीजिए। ये वो सारे इश्यूज हैं जो हमने अभी डिस्कस किए, और ये आप बहुत कॉमन सीन है। आप महाराष्ट्र के भी जब भी पिक्स देखेंगे, या जो ईस्टर्न महाराष्ट्र का एरिया है जहाँ पे वाटर डेफिसिट है काफी सारा, वहां पे आप देखेंगे ऐसे इश्यूज आपको दिखाई देंगे। ये सारे वाटर डेफिशिएंसी के जो अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ ड्रिंकिंग वाटर है, उसके कुछ पिक्स लिए गए हैं। तो अब तक हमने देखा कि व्हाट इज क्लाइमेट चेंज और व्हाट इज ड्रिंकिंग वाटर, इम्पैक्ट ऑफ क्लाइमेट चेंज ऑन ड्रिंकिंग वाटर, और अब कुछ इश्यूज या कुछ बात करेंगे, जैसा हमने ऑलरेडी बात किया कि बिकॉज केवल प्रॉब्लम्स बात करने से कुछ नहीं होता, हमें सॉल्यूशंस की ओर जाना होगा। हमें व्हाट आर द सॉल्यूशंस, व्हाट एट ए सिस्टम लेवल व्हाट वी हैव टू सी, एंड नॉट ओनली दैट, केवल ये हमारा लाइफस्टाइल पे प्रॉब्लम, मतलब के प्रॉब्लम से ये अराइज हो रहा है। तो देयर वी हैव टू हिट, दैट इज द एरिया वेयर वी हैव टू लुक इनटू, एंड दैट इज व्हाट वी हैव टू सी और चेक आवरसेल्फ। जैसे मैम ने कहा कि एक छोटा सा मग पानी मिलता था हमें पहले, और आप याद करिए अभी सुबह नहाते टाइम हमने बाल्टी के बाल्टी पानी वेस्ट हो सकता है कि किया हो, मतलब मैं जनरल नहीं कह रहा हूँ, बट हो सकता है कि किया हो। So that is the area what we have to see even for before wasting even a single drop of water. तो ये सारे कुछ चीजें हैं जिनसे हम ये जो एडवर्स इफेक्ट है क्लाइमेट पे उसको मिटिगेट कर सकते हैं। जैसा कि ग्रो मोर ट्रीज, जिससे रेनफॉल हमारा बढ़ता है। ग्रो नंबर ऑफ ट्रीज इज डायरेक्टली लिंक्ड टू द प्रेसिपिटेशन इन द एरिया। रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग जैसा एक सजेशन अभी आया था, हमने ऑलरेडी मतलब देखा है कि कैसा बहुत क्रूशियल है, क्योंकि इंडिया में मेजरली मॉनसून रेनफॉल होता है जो एक पर्टिकुलर सीजन में होता है, बाकी टाइम में सूखा होता है। अगर उस पीरियड में उस रेनफॉल को हम हार्वेस्ट कर पाए तो हम बाकी टाइम में उसको अच्छे से यूज कर पाएंगे। रेवोल्यूशनाइजिंग द एग्रीकल्चरल प्रैक्टिसेस, जो हमारा फ्लड इरिगेशन है, या जैसा हम अभी देखेंगे, ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन के पहले पंजाब में चावल बहुत कम होता था या नहीं होता था। ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन के बाद से पंजाब में चावल बहुत ज्यादा होना शुरू हुआ। तो अब हम अभी जो वहां का प्रॉब्लम है सेलेनाइजेशन, एक्सेसिव फर्टिलाइजर के यूज से सॉल्ट पैंस डेवलप होना शुरू हो गए हैं ऊपर। तो ये सारी चीजें हैं जो हमें थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखते हैं अपने डेवलपमेंट के फेज में, ये चेक्स एंड वो देखते हुए कि हम किसी गलत दिशा में डेवलपमेंट के पाथ पे ना चले जाएं। Mandatory water recycling in all apartments, industries, and textiles, restoring and maintaining our water bodies, creating social awareness among the people about effective usage of water, reusing the wastewater from RO during RO purification process. Nearly 70% of water gets wasted. We can store and reuse it. Many countries, ये आप जापान वगैरह में देखेंगे तो ये this has, ये लास्ट पॉइंट को बहुत अच्छे से कैटर करते हो। एवरीथिंग, इवन वॉशरूम्स में मैम से एक बार डिस्कस हो रहा था, इवन जो हमारा बेसिन का पानी होता है दैट गोज टू द फ्लश एंड इट अगेन गेट्स मींस यूज्ड, जो अभी भी हम अपने डेली लाइफ में जिसको हमें अभी थोड़ा सा उसको उतारने की जरूरत है, जिससे हम इस इशू को कर पाए। तो इसके इसके ये सारे पॉसिबल रेमेडीज हैं जो हमने मतलब डेली लाइफ के देखे हमने। एडाप्टेशन है, मिटिगेशन है, एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ रिसर्च रिफाइंड मॉडल्स हैं। तो ये सारे थियोरेटिकल उसके सॉल्यूशंस हैं। बट इसका पिछला स्लाइड हम जो देख रहे थे वो हमें क्या करना है अपने डेली लाइफ में इस इश्यू को मिटिगेट करने के लिए। सो अब we will conclude this with expectation that ये सेशन आपके लिए बेनिफिशियल रहा होगा, और हम अपने डेली लाइफ में जो वाटर का वैल्यू है, कितना प्रेशियस है, उसको समझें और कैसे उसका जुडिशियस यूज करें, बिना एक सिंगल ड्रॉप ऑफ वाटर को वेस्ट किए बिना हम अपने कैसे लाइफस्टाइल को करें। तो इसी से हमारा लाइफ भी बेटर होगा, इवन प्लेनेट भी बेटर होगा, सराउंडिंग बेटर होगा, और हम अपने फ्यूचर जनरेशंस को एक बेटर प्लेनेट दे पाएंगे। सो थैंक यू Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, SRC, for organizing a talk on this issue. And thank you, everyone, for attending and participating. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing comprehensive ways to reduce the adverse effects of climate.
थैंक यू। सबसे पहले मैं एमएस मैडम का शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूं कि उन्होंने अपनी कीमती समय में से हमें समय दिया और इस विशेष जो सेशन पर अपने विचार प्रस्तुत किए। और अभिमन्यु यादव जी जो हमारे बीच से हैं, उन्होंने इस इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक पर अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस और अपने इम्पोर्टेंट जो नॉलेज इस बारे में, वाटर के बारे में, वो शेयर की। और चेतन जी का मैं शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ कि उन्होंने राजस्थान की पृष्ठभूमि पर पानी की जो कमी इसके बारे में अपने विचार प्रस्तुत किए। और मैं उन सभी लोगों का जो कि हमारे साथ ऑनलाइन जुड़े हैं, उनका भी शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं। और हमारे सभी साथी और सभी हमारे कोलीग्स हैं, उनका भी शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं कि अकम के तहत खासतौर पर अनिल जी जो पूरे अकम प्रोग्राम को चला रहे हैं अच्छे तरीके से और पूरी मॉनिटरिंग कर रहे हैं। मैं सबका धन्यवाद करता हूं। धन्यवाद। थैंक यू मैडम।